talking about podcasts. We're talking about itty bitty podcasts. Oh, podcast.
Merry Mini Monday Chunkies. What a ride. I'm Carter.
The shape your tongue made as you said the word podcast looked like a bulldog. The bulldogs that are just like it went from skinny and low to flat and high. I'm Dosh. And I'm Jordan.
Oh, that's everybody.
That's all of us. Yeah, that's
all of us.
That's
everyone. We're all here. Sorry,
we decided to do it without our fourth guy today.
Yeah, that's best.
Two chunks and a hunk. 2 chunks and a hunk and
Did you say Jeremy?
Jeremy, yeah, our fourth member.
I did forget it was the J is silent.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Is it silent or just wrong? If it's making that sound,
it's just wrong. It's a wrong sound.
My name's Jeremy. The J is wrong.
We've got a lot to get through today. We've got some spring delirium. We've got just a little bit of movie news, and then we're going to bring some games back. At least a game back as we get this time. And then
finally, I'm going to have fun on this show again.
Before we get to any of that, let's go straight into Moon Knight. I think that needs to be the first half of our podcast here. We are on episode 3, so this was by the end of this episode, the halfway point, which somehow this halfway point feels like more content than any other MCU's halfway point for me. I just kind of looked and was like, oh, there's 3 more? That's exciting. Because I really feel like the pace picked up a lot here in episode 3 of Moon Knight.
I'm torn on this episode.
I am too.
Because the show is still good, but this might have been my least favorite episode.
It is definitely my least favorite episode.
Because we've done the same thing 3 times in a row now. Where it's like we get in trouble. We're switching identities. Get in trouble. Some in the suit. And then the last 10 minutes of the episode, we get another expensive CG Moon Knight scene.
But then the fight was really cool.
The fight was very cool. And
turning the stars back was awesome.
And with Khonshu being imprisoned was awesome. But the pace of this episode, to me, like if you're just graphing, like charting this episode's momentum, it's the exact same graph as the first 2 episodes of the show in terms of like when the things happen that happen. I don't know, man. I really hope that we don't.
Well, let me pump you guys up a little bit. And I think
go.
I think you two are cerebral enough that you can catch on probably quicker than the general public. I think when we look at a story like Moon Knight, which if you even just read a blurb on Google, it talks about 4 separate personalities. And I can't say that we've seen all of those. It feels like with something this different, especially even with a history, archives of old gods that exist, but we don't know too much about, I think it makes sense to do the repeat. Now, I think I'm just 1 episode away from being like, okay, that's too much. Like if you're using the majority of this season to give us the same beats there, but some of these are, and I know y'all know that, but some of these are going to be narrative through lines regardless. It's always going to be Steven against Mark, and then Khonshu gets thrown in every now and then.
Sure.
But I see what y'all are saying. It didn't bother me as much because I kind of appreciated them just making sure, hey, by the way, here's how crazy it is now, making sure y'all know the dynamic here, because my guess is episode 4 will really start to branch off a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But, and saying that this is my least favorite episode of Moon Knight so far, I still enjoyed it. It's a good show. Like
it's like saying this is the least. It's like saying this is the least good cheese.
Right.
It's still good.
It's still cheese, man. It's still cheese.
I am continually impressed by Oscar Isaac.
Yes.
I know that, speaking of like just saying the same thing over and over again, that's going to happen every episode.
His real-time switch from Mark to Steven in this episode
right there was special.
Oh,
awesome.
My goodness. Yeah.
That was absolutely special. And of course, he's aided a little bit by the soundtrack there. But and just being the surrogate for Khonshu's voice at one point. That was really cool too, of it just kind of taking over, but he's acting with his eyes as if he's just Mark experiencing these things happening that he can't control.
Yeah.
In contrast to all these other avatars that are much better at it and have done it perhaps more and are more used to it. But I don't know. I think the dynamics are great. Something that I didn't like is I think we could be doing better with the relationship between Mark and Steven and, oh my goodness, what's her name?
Layla?
Layla. his wife, Mark's wife. Yeah. So I think she's great. And I thought we were going to get much more of her because of the intro being just her. And it seemed like her mom, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
But I thought it was cool. I love her necklace that became weapons.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Weapons.
Pretty cool. Do you
Yeah,
guys
but
feel
fighting-
sparks flying between her and
Steven?
Steven?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Absolutely. Did y'all hear? They had a plan originally in production to have Coldplay's "Sky Full of Stars" be playing
Wow.
during that, but it didn't
Backwards.
end up coming through. Yeah, it was a
Yeah, they
little
were going to play it backwards.
It was. What do you think that would sound like? Could you give us a little taste of a backwards "Sky Full of Stars"?
I honestly don't think I can. I was trying to think of how to
I was
be
just
funny for
reading
that.
it.
It's like, I'm going to hyperventilate.
Every Coldplay song, when you boil it down, is just Chris Martin moaning to a melody.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of all you got to do is kind of be like, and then put some harpsichord, some fast harpsichord, and some like big percussion behind it, and that's a Coldplay song, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're cooking with Coldplay.
I love that we haven't seen Amit yet.
Yeah.
Just yet. It did feel like that was moving
I'm
really
getting
quick.
nervous for that reveal. It better
Are
be
you?
awesome if you're going to make me
Yeah.
wait this long.
Khonshu
Yeah.
looks cool. I hope we get a version of Amit that kind of looks like, because Khonshu is really the only god that we've seen, and just his kind of like
Right.
floating skull, bird skull head, and I think it's just so fun. I can't visually. I love this. I love the soundtrack. Did y'all listen to the whole post credits song?
Yeah.
I did not.
Oh my gosh, it was so
It's a
fun.
bop,
It's
dude.
a recommend. I think that would be a good Spotify playlist is the Moon Knight soundtrack and all the tracks with therein. Anything that stands out more to you on Moon Knight?
Still loving Ethan Hawke.
He's so good, dude.
He is cruising for a bruising of love. If he's not careful, I'm going to fall in love with Ethan
Fall
Hawke.
straight in love with him.
Him and Oscar Isaac are carrying this show in a good way. Not saying it's a bad
absolutely.
show held up by them. It's a great show being made better by their presence.
Speaking of Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac, which I mean the whole show is mainly those two. Did y'all see the little viral screenshot, the picture that's been going around the internet right now with those two and Willem Dafoe on set?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things, right? These are all MCU guys, but then also Ethan Hawke and Willem Dafoe are in The Northman. And so if we don't have any more Moon Knight to talk about, before we hit our ads, I do want to talk about a couple movies that are coming out this Friday, the 22nd. One of those being The Northman. And
Dude,
this
that
podcast
looks so good.
It looks awesome.
so good. This podcast had our own little deep dive into the Eggers verse. And that was a ton of fun back in Chunktober. Thank you, Chunkies, for giving us that. It was overwhelming.
Did we watch any Eggers? We didn't watch any Eggers.
We watched Ari Aster.
Oh, Asterverse.
Yep.
Please forgive. Please forgive. Eggers did.
The Asterverse is just a universe covered in butts.
Just butts. That's fine. We can say that. We can say that. Oh, The Witch. See, that's why I got mixed up. Sorry,
I think
sorry.
you mean the Vivitch?
The Vivitch, which is one of my favorite horror movies ever. I don't know if y'all have seen that.
I have not.
I haven't either.
Saving it for another Chunktober, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully it shows up. I liked it a lot. But yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy, you can never go wrong throwing any Skarsgård in there. We've got Alex in this one. We've got Willem Dafoe. We've got Nicole Kidman. We've got Ethan Hawke. It just looks very good. Is that a yes from all of us here?
That's a big yes.
Big
Big
time.
yes. Possibly even if I do see it in theaters, I will be by myself. I don't believe. I know for sure that Chelsea will not go with, but that's okay. And then we have The Unbearable Weight of Massive
Yeah.
Talent. That is also coming out this weekend.
That's another yes from me, dude.
I
That
think it is for
movie
me,
kind
too.
of looks awesome.
It's a massive yes, and everywhere is being rated very high.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Everywhere. And in some of the early reviews that I've been reading, just kind of the general reviews, people are talking about really Pedro Pascal. They're kind of like, hey,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
let's not brush over the fact that this was a unique position to play with Nick Cage playing himself and being fully Nick Cage. They were like, hey, Pedro kind of was step for step Like he kind of pulled this off, and I'm not totally surprised by that.
Yeah, I love Pedro Pascal.
Dude, I have loved how he has sort of exploded out of nowhere over the past like 6 years or so.
Yeah.
Yep. Game of Thrones and then to the moon.
Game of Thrones and then everything else.
Yep.
Yeah. Pascal and Oscar Isaac kind of feel similar parts of the universe to me in terms of about their age and their careers and just kind of doing stuff that was smaller, but then just really latching on to it's one thing to like Chris Pratt your way into a movie franchise.
Yeah.
And then it's another thing to like Pedro Pascal your way. Because
That's
like
very
he's
true.
in Star Wars too, right? And so is Oscar Isaac, but nobody's kind of like, here's our blockbuster guy. And I think I don't necessarily know what the difference is. Maybe it's layers. Maybe it's because they have a little bit more range. But yeah, I'm really loving what they're doing.
Talking about Oscar, Moon Knight feels like his first kind of blockbuster thing that he's the draw. I mean, I know he was in Dune, but it's like he is Tim's dad in Dune.
Right.
This is the first, like, I don't know. I mean, he's obviously been the...
Yeah.
Sure, but he wasn't the draw of that.
No, he wasn't. And there was actually, it had come to light, I think recently, that Oscar Isaac was at first not down. He didn't really want to join the MCU.
I told you that last week.
Was that you?
That was me.
I didn't see your face, so I didn't remember
this is
it.
so embarrassing.
I didn't remember it. But also, I don't know if y'all know much about Greek tragedies, but
Yeah.
I learned something recently.
Please tell us all the things that a great and wise teacher has taught you.
I'll do it right after these ads.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Let's make a toast to doing more this spring. Actually, let's make two. Introducing two delicious new toasts from Dunkin'. Hummus and roasted tomato and avocado and roasted tomato. Spring it on with creamy hummus or savory avocado spread on sourdough bread topped with slow roasted, perfectly seasoned vine-ripe tomatoes. Actually, let's make a third toast to the two toasts I was just talking about. Here's to you two, tasty tomato top toasts. America runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
That was the Adsterverse. You're just talking about the Asterverse. Now it's the Adsterverse.
Your internet connection dropped so hard, and all I heard was Adsterverse.
Oh, that was me singing Sky Full of Stars backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I beat you to it, Doge? Is that what you were going to say?
It is, yeah. So I'll say it this week, and then you say it next week.
Okay, great. We need to talk about Spring Delirium. And do y'all feel a little kind of like a weight lifted today? How does it feel not having to do the voting here?
I get to armchair quarterback the voting now and say, I wouldn't have picked that, but...
I like to be in control of things.
No, are you
He doesn't
sure?
like it. He doesn't
Are you sure?
like it. He doesn't like it. Okay. We had 8 matchups. We had our Sweet 16 this week, and it went over to Survey Hero, in which our friends over all over the place, I guess, through social medias, Discord, Chunkies, got to vote. And I have the results for us here today.
Beautiful.
Our first matchup was Mario against Bowser. Tale as old as time.
Sure.
I couldn't
Winter is
think of
old as
any
time,
other-
I assume.
I couldn't think of any other lines from that song.
Song as old as rhyme? Is that right?
Yep.
Tale as old as time.
Song as old as rhyme.
Sound to say the least. Mario won by, he had 92% of the vote.
Yeah, of course he did.
Oh, yeah,
Bowser
obviously.
was crushed.
Bowser's
Our
used
next
to it.
matchup-
Bowser's used to getting butt stomped by young Mario.
The next matchup was the closest because our winner had 52% of the vote.
Ooh.
Wow.
This was between Zelda and Pac-Man.
Mhm.
And Zelda won.
Yeah.
Zelda beat Pac-Man. We had a fun thing. Doge created the survey for our Chunkies, and there was kind of an open-ended question in terms of asking people to give us a little more explanation for some of your choices. Like we told people we wanted to know why you chose what you chose. And there was a handful of people that did say it felt like the ones that had the Pac-Man energy were just saying, in terms of iconography, he feels like more of an icon. And it's tough. It's a tough Zelda having the namesake of so many of those great games, I think pushed her through ultimately. So 52%.
Yeah, Pac-Man belongs in a museum.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe that's why folks voted for. It originally was called Puckman after the sound Paku Paku.
That's crazy.
Thank you. Was that Scott
I told
Pilgrim?
You that. Remember
Scott Pilgrim.
I told you that.
Oh, you
did
tell me. You did tell me that. Yeah.
Our next matchup was Sonic against Kratos, and with 79% of the vote,
By Kratos.
Sonic took this one. We did have a funny comment though that was talking about how Kratos kills deities and Sonic is a deity.
Ooh, yeah.
So I thought that was pretty.
That's pretty funny.
Interesting.
Our next matchup was one of the. It was another just big win. We had a 92%, more than 92% of the vote. This was Pikachu over Joel.
Yep. By Joel.
Yeah.
Joel only got about 8%.
Now, before we get to the end of this, I do want to say that before we started recording, I said that I think both Last of Us characters that were here are going to be out, and Jordan does not agree with that.
I'm not saying necessarily that I don't agree with that, just that I think outside of some people intentionally booting Ellie as some sort of vendetta that they have created, Lara Croft just doesn't have the cultural weight that she once did. And Ellie just came off of a Game of the Year contender and a new HBO series coming in. So I'm just saying she has the cultural weight.
I totally disagree about that.
That's actually the final matchup.
What I just said is true, though. How do you disagree?
No, I think that's definitely an opinion. Who has more cultural weight? I think is totally a matter of opinion.
Right now, you think that Lara Croft carries the same weight that Ellie does right now?
I think that Lara Croft has more heft behind her as a character than Ellie does. Because if I go to somebody who doesn't know anything about video games and I say Tomb Raider, they know what that is. If I say The Last of Us, they don't know what that is.
Okay.
Our next matchup was Link against Geralt. Geralt
Break my heart.
Only got 10% of the vote there.
Yeah.
Link got 90%.
Yeah, as he should have.
So Link moves on. Then we had Master Chief against John Marston.
Bye, John.
Master Chief with 92% of the vote. There was most of the comments that we had were about Master Chief. A lot of heat here. A lot of momentum behind Master Chief.
Yeah, there's a lot of
then
love
we had
for the
Donkey
Halo
Kong
series.
against Tony Hawk. This was our second closest
Bye, DK.
matchup. 60% of the vote went to Master Hawk. Tony Hawk
Good.
beat Donkey Kong. And then our final matchup, Lara Croft against Ellie. Our winner had 76% of the vote. And it was Lara Croft.
Yeah, that's fair.
Lara Croft to move on.
I understand what Doge is saying about Lara Croft. I understand the idea of like there are video game icons. I just don't think Lara Croft is in that echelon at all. Not anymore. I think that
Can you lose your icon status?
I think that your icon status can become irrelevant.
Sure, but are you still an icon? Just an irrelevant icon?
Yeah, of course. I'm just saying we had the Tomb Raider games were groundbreaking. Then they put out some dumpster fires for a while, and then they came back with a reboot that is pretty good. But there is a lot of cultural backlash to the depiction of Lara Croft for years being objectified and sexualized. And that's why people, I mean, for a long time, the name Tomb Raider for like the circles my particular parents ran in.
No.
Yeah.
The name Tomb Raider was synonymous with like, you're nasty. You're a nasty person.
You play a nasty boy game.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think her reputation as a character was damaged by that for a long time, and she was not taken seriously. My point was simply Ellie has the current heat.
She has the most recent good game of the two of them.
By like far. Yes.
Right.
I like the history between these two though, because we kind of have seen the evolution of the heroine in general in these stories.
Yeah, and I don't think you have Ellie without Lara Croft. I am just shocked that there is 76% love for Lara Croft, a character I have almost no affinity for beyond respect for the history.
Yeah.
So it's
I think
it's just
it would be easier to understand if we were not video game boys, particularly if we were not the Last of Us boys, I think.
Which makes that was the last of them, by the way.
Yeah.
They're not here anymore.
No, I had no championship hopes for either of those two characters, for sure.
Our next round, the Elite Eight, I'm going to tell you guys the matchups. I don't want to hear your guess because I don't want any votes to be swayed, because we know there's lots of Jordanites and Dojiites out there. So we don't want to sway anything. But the Elite Eight is perhaps the tightest round of any of our Spring Delirium. And a majority of that is a thanks to the two of you, and most recently to the Chunkies. But Chunkies, get ready for this week as we have new surveys out. But it's going to be in the Elite Eight, Mario against Zelda. It will be Sonic against Pikachu.
Oh, no.
Link against Master Chief.
Wow.
And finally, Tony Hawk against Lara Croft. I am bamboozled. I have really no idea how that one's going to turn out.
Yeah, wow.
Speaking of having no idea of how something's going to turn out, let's play Rumpelstiltskin.
Okay.
Please, guess the name. Win the Rumpelstiltskin game.
Sorry for the bad sound.
In the game Rumpelstiltskin, it's been a while since we've played. But in this game, I'm going to read essentially a synopsis. Not really a synopsis, kind of a tease that Rotten Tomatoes Flickster writes for movies that are coming out. I'm trying to pick movies that these boys have never heard of before. And based off of what I read about the movie info, they have to guess the title of this movie. And we begin. Releasing April 22nd. So it's releasing the same time as Massive Talent and The Northman. Two teen sisters, Haley and Brooke, which, by the way, this is one of my favorite movie infos of Flickster because it's more than just movie info. They're giving us the entire plot. I think you're going to find out by the end of this what happens in this movie.
Cool.
Two teen sisters, Haley and Brooke, go to live with their grandmother when their father is arrested for a crime he didn't commit. Their grandma used to be a country music star, but she retired after the death of their grandfather in a car accident. Haley wants to be a country singer like her grandma, but she suffers from bad stage fright. Don't we all, Haley? Brooke used to be a barrel racer, but she was injured in the accident. Didn't we all, Brooke? I'm adding my own stuff here.
Sure.
The girls convince their grandmother to come out of retirement to raise money for their dad's defense. The concert is a success and helps Haley get over her stage fright, which, by the way, why do we need to watch it now? Not that it wasn't predictable. However, when they go to withdraw the money, they find that it's gone. The girls and their grandma find a way to recover the money and then ultimately use it to free their father. Why are they telling us everything? And with their grandma's help, both girls go on to chase their dreams of being a singer and a barrel racer. It's a Timothy Armstrong PG movie, 93 minutes long, drama and music genre. So perhaps it's somewhat of a musical.
I'm going to ask you one question, and you can tell me if you're allowed to answer, but I do have one question for you about this movie. Is Dolly Parton in this?
She's not.
Okay. I thought she'd play the grandma.
Felt like she needed to be. She's not. What's the title of this movie? Doge, you want to go first?
Yeah. I think this movie's called Working 9 to 5, and they can't sing that song because they don't have Dolly Parton in it, but they're just going to kind of wink at it.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe the grandma's Miss Piggy, who is puppet Dolly Parton instead.
Grandma is Cheryl Ladd, by the way.
Oh yeah. I love
this one.
I wondered what she was doing next.
Yeah.
Jordan? I think this movie's called like Grandma's Still Got It. I was gonna go with Papa's Last Chance.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Or like Haley's Comment, some sort of thing like that. But I think it's Grandma's Still Got It.
So we've got Grandma Still Got It and Working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
That matchup feels like one of our Elite Eight matchups. So it's I'm not totally sure who wins that. The title of this movie is called A Cowgirl's Song.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah, that is objectively worse.
Wait, is she? Hang on.
Song. Is this an American Girl story or something?
In that cover, is she on a horse or a cow? I couldn't see it quickly enough.
Horse.
Okay.
She thinks that cowgirls ride actual cows everywhere they go. I've only read books.
I'm a cowgirl.
We've talked about that before, right? How fun it would be to do a Western series called Horse Boys because they're not cow. They ride horses.
Now that it's spoken onto a podcast.
Yes, we always keep all of our promises.
We keep all our promises. So we're just going to have to keep that one. Also coming out April 22nd. An hour. It's one more minute than Cowgirl's song. So
good for them.
Keep that in mind.
So it's 1 minute
R.
better. Ooh.
Rated R. It's a comedy.
Man, a lot happens in that 1 minute.
It's the most shocking minute ever filmed.
Deborah Neal Fisher. Jordan, you're going to guess first.
Okay.
So just start preparing.
I'd
your
love
heart.
some information first.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I'm just trying to switch things up. Think a rustic getaway with no cell service, internet, or social media is a romantic way to revive your marriage and revitalize your sex life? Your Wii Sports game?
It's really specific for this synopsis.
Think again.
No wonder it's rated R.
Now, I'm not trying to poo-poo on this guy's attractiveness,
Sure.
but here's our couple. When Janine, Eva Longoria,
Okay.
and Dan, Matt Walsh,
Okay.
All right.
realize the
Okay.
only spark in the bedroom is from the wall socket, Dan proposes a quiet, relaxing weekend in a remote mountain town as the solution to rekindle and recharge. No kids, no phone, no social media. Only clean, fresh air and lots of romance. But what starts as the perfect weekend getaway quickly spirals out of control with unearthly encounters, strong edibles, cranky locals, and a pesky one-eyed dog. Without GPS to guide them or social media to save them, Dan and Janine are forced to rediscover what truly matters: each other. Jordan, what is the title of this film?
This is just called Retreat.
Doge?
This is called Out of the Woods.
Nice.
This is another tough matchup. I can't pick a winner. The title of this movie is called Unplugged.
No, it isn't, though. It's called Unplugging.
Unplugging. Yeah.
The title of this movie is called Not Plugged In Anymore. It's called Unplugging. I'm literally showing them the title and I can't even read
Saying it wrong as you point it at my face.
Does Matt Walsh
It's
have a
not easy to
mustache
make
in
good
this?
podcasting. No.
Then I'm not gonna like him.
Then you're out. Doge is completely out. Guys,
I'm not saying I'm out, but if he had a mustache, he would be in the same category as Eva Longoria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Our next and final movie for Rumpelstiltskin today is going to be a unique one. It's going to be a little bit special. After I read the movie info, before we guess the title of the movie, we're going to do a count to three. I'm going to count to three, and then y'all tell me who you feel like our main character, Alex Lewis. Who do you feel plays Alex in this movie? Okay. This will be released April 29th. So next week, rated R, Martin Campbell, action mystery thriller. Alex Lewis, an expert assassin with a reputation for discreet precision, is caught in a moral quagmire. Alex refuses to complete a job that violates his code and must quickly hunt down and kill the people who hired him before they and FBI agent Vincent Serra, played by Guy Pearce, find him first. Alex is built for revenge, but with a memory that is beginning to falter, he is forced to question his every action, blurring the line between right and wrong. Again, we're going to guess who plays Alex on three. Do y'all have an idea?
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds. Hold on.
Expert assassin with a reputation for discreet precision.
Yeah.
Built for revenge.
Why can't I think of any actors that have ever existed right now all of a sudden?
It's tough.
My
That's
brain
what happens
has
on
just
Mini Monday.
my brain has just blanked on
what
everybody
happens on
who
Mini
has
Monday.
ever been in a movie before.
Mhm.
The thing is, I know exactly who it is. I'm just waiting for my friend Carter to count to three.
I've decided
1, 2, 3.
Matt Damon.
Jason Statham.
Oh, wow. Liam Neeson, guys. That's the most Liam Neeson role ever.
Oh yeah, that is pretty.
Actually, it's the most Matt Damon role ever because it is Jason
it's not.
Bourne.
So my second
No,
guess
it's
was
not.
actually going to be Denzel, which is pretty much
Ooh.
just Liam Neeson at this
Yeah.
point.
Also
Yeah.
Liam Neeson. Yeah.
Liam Neeson, Guy Pearce, Monica Bellucci.
Okay.
What is the title of this film? Do you want me to read the movie info again?
No.
Nah.
Okay. Doge, what is this film called?
I think it's Neeson, so it is dad trash.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a one-word title, and I think it's assassin.
I've developed a particular set of skills.
The most generic thing that when your dad's like, have you seen Assassin? You'd be like, Dad, what is that?
Have you seen Saint?
Have you watched the movie Gun?
Boom. I like this new movie called Boom.
There's a new movie.
Have you seen Speed?
Hey.
I'm just saying.
Leave that movie
you
out of
can
it. Leave that movie out of it.
that.
Hey,
I love that.
hey, champ, maybe when we're done mowing, we can watch the movie called Shooting.
Shooter even is the one that...
It's Mark Wahlberg.
Dang, Mark Wahlberg would have been a pretty strong guest for this character
Yeah.
as well.
Say hi. How about you say hi to your mother for me? After catching up on Survivor last night. Oh, I froze. What an awful time.
Goodness. You said fun fact. See,
What an awful time to freeze. After Chelsea and I caught up, and it was the 2-hour episode of Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
Have y'all watched that, by the way?
No.
Better get.
Have you watched any of this season, Doge?
Yeah. I just haven't watched the most recent one.
Okay. After we watched
Froze
that,
again.
we happened to turn on the
There he is.
old TNT, and it was the last 10 minutes of Con Air, and Chelsea had never seen it.
Ooh.
So speaking of like action movies, she was like, "This is ridiculous." I was like, "I know." I was just smiling huge the whole time as they land the plane on the strip of Las Vegas, a busy strip, by the way. Nick Cage's thick Southern accent.
By the way, I have somebody who is competing to be a top 5 player of all time this season on Survivor for my tastes.
Same, my friend.
And I think we might willing to bet it's the same person.
Yep.
This movie's called Backtrack.
Yeah.
Y'all have done it again. I can't pick a winner, which, by the way, I've never picked a winner in this game.
Yeah, I don't think you ever unless
This
we
movie
like
is-
actually got it.
This movie is called Memory.
Yeah.
Wow.
Memory.
They were like,
That's
how
already
close can
taken.
we get to Memento?
Yeah.
There's got to be a movie called Memory.
Let's go ahead and
before
put
this.
Guy Pearce in it.
Yeah.
That's got to be taken.
I mean-
I'm going to make a movie about 2 movie stars who get
Well,
furious at each other, and I'm going to call it Star Wars.
It's ironic that you immediately said that's got to be taken. I imagine it's the same plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I imagine it's the very same plot.
But instead, it's like, I
Guys,
got
I
a
have-
very particular set of skills, but I don't remember them right now.
I've got a very confusing set of memories.
I have a very particular set of.
What was I doing?
So we're going to play A Star Was Born very quickly here at the end because it's a very special star. One birthday I'm going to give you. One birthday today. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you think. Ooh. Born April 18th, 1976. 1976. That would make her 46. All right? Look at my math. Did I do it?
Yeah.
She has 77.
I feel like I already know who this is.
She has 77 credits to her name.
feel like I already know who this is.
And 2 upcoming projects, which I'll put those on the table. 77. If you've never heard A Star Was Born, we celebrate certain stars' birthdays by playing a game. And what we do is we have these boys pick 3 random credits. So within the 77, they can pick 3 random credits, and I read the title of that credit. And based off of the titles, based off of the credits that they choose randomly, they have to guess whose birthday it is today. Let's go with these credits. Where do we go first, boys? 77.
Let's shoot early teens, maybe mid-teens.
Yeah, I'm going to let you lead the way because I don't think I know who
Well,
this is.
I have a hunch. I'm feeling pretty strong about it, just with some energy Carter's giving off. But let's go 16.
Okay. Yeah.
With the 16th credit, it was a TV movie in 1997 called 2 Came Back.
Okay, 1997.
So they were like 20.
Yeah, we need to be around there. But more recent stuff might be helpful, but also might not be.
I'm completely lost. I
Let's
don't know
go.
who you
How
think
many
this
did you
is.
say?
77.
Can we do like 73, Doge?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I don't know who. I have no dog in the fight.
73, you say?
Mhm.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's a TV movie that came out in 2020.
Yep.
She plays an uncredited role, but we'll go ahead and give this one. Felice.
Yeah. Can we just guess?
Nope. I need one more credit.
I was trying to nail Sabrina the Teenage Witch with the first guess. I don't remember what era that would have been. We also would accept nailing Holiday and Handcuffs starring Mario Lopez as well. That would be late aughts. So perhaps somewhere in the late 20s, early 30s, before she started doing only made-for-TV movies and cranking out like 5 a year. Or we could try and hit Melissa and Joey. Either one.
I'm not playing anymore.
Okay. I'm going to go 32. 32 feels really good to me.
32. Okay. Hold up. We're getting there. 20. These aren't numbered, by the way. Chunky's.
You just got to count.
So long. It's an animated series that had 65 episodes.
She was in Sabrina
the animated series.
Yeah, she was in a Sabrina animated series.
Whose birthday is it?
Melissa.
Happy birthday today on your 46th birthday on this Monday when you're very likely in line to pick up your children. I don't think you're listening to this podcast, but happy birthday, Melissa.
No,
Joan
Melissa's
Hart.
definitely listening to this podcast, trying to get ideas for her next project.
Somebody from Melissa's team is definitely listening.
Hi, Melissa's interns. We hope you're doing well. We haven't written any movies lately, but we'll let you know when we do.
To end today's episode, I'd love to have your name, and I want you to tell me what Melissa Joan Hart's next project is.
Ooh, very good.
Not the one that's even in upcoming projects on her IMDb page. Which one of them is something about Clarissa continuing to explain it? I don't really know what it's called.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Clarissa, Untitled Clarissa Explains It All reboot.
Clarissa tells you to just Google it.
Yeah, Clarissa says the internet's here now.
Yeah. And then there's another one called Dirty Little Secret. So
is Dirty Little Secret? Do you think Dirty Little Secret is about a movie star who is past her prime stealing an idea from a little podcast based in Dallas?
How amazing would that be?
Dude, honestly, it would be both validating and exciting.
I'm Carter, and I believe the project that Melissa is currently working on is she actually is working on a movie podcast. I think she's going to be doing that with likely 2 other people. Would be my assumption. On Mondays, they'd have little games that they play, and a couple of them would kind of like hate the games, but secretly love them. I don't know who she'll cast, but it will be someone who was in a Hallmark movie, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. It's the podcast it's her and the Mark Hoppus from Blink-182 and the guy from Simple Plan. It's called Two Punks and Some Spunk. And she's all the spunk, she's all the energy, and they're the two punks. You know what I mean?
That was just brilliant. As you were like the pace in which you were giving me that, I was like, this is going to hit.
Just a drip feed, just a little drip feed right there.
Just a little drip. It was very good. Yes. 2 punks and some spunk. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's the project. Doge has just been so out of it the moment he recognized that her name would be, her name would be on this podcast.
I'm tired of giving her free publicity.
Yeah. I'm tired of helping out Melissa.
Every time she's about to completely fade like Bing Bong because people forget her, we bring her right back to life.
Honestly, I have circled around so hard. You know, like the first time you tried black coffee when you were young and you're like, oh, it's so, but I liked the way it smelled. Why does it taste so bad? And then all of a sudden you find yourself circling around on it and you're like, actually, this is pretty good. I have found myself circling so hard on Melissa Joan Hart, being so furious, and then coming around this other side being like, look, I refuse to believe that someone didn't yoink that idea from us.
I am fine to believe.
But I'm flattered.
I am fine to believe she didn't yoink it.
How?
The unacceptable thing is the repeated attempts to contact her, emailing her production company directly and Sabrina the Teenage Witch saying, no, I'm too busy making things for your mom to watch while she's wrapping presents to reply to a
No,
DM.
She yoinked it, and that's why they're not responding, because they know that we are not persistent enough and that we'll just go away.
We started super nice, by the way.
We did. We started
think people
very
don't know
nice.
that. We started very, very nice. And then she basically made us the villain from The Incredibles. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we had love, and then you just pushed us aside and you created a monster.
I'm Doge. MJH's next project is set in a small town called Podville. And the librarian in the small town, Minerva, is trying to think of something to get the teens in, to get them to want to come in and read. And
How do I reach these teens?
how do I reach these teens? And so Minerva begins hosting a book club on
Minerva,
Mondays.
played by Jack Black as Nacho Libre.
Yeah. Minerva begins hosting a book club on Mondays, and she calls the book club Minnie's Mondays.
Ooh.
And that's the name of the movie because Melissa Joan Hart is a talentless hack who steals our good ideas.
Oh, dang. I don't think she's talentless.
Yeah.
I don't think she's talentless. Maybe a little hacky. I don't think she's talentless. I like her. I'd hang out with her today.
I would immediately 180 degrees reverse my opinion of Melissa Joan Hart if there was any communication other than I'm too busy to communicate.
Are we
with
about to reignite this whole thing? Is that what's about to happen?
It's,
Are we gonna reach
it's
out again?
ignited. It's on fire, man.
Should we just wave on every post that she has? Just do the little wave emoji. Like start at the beginning and come all the way to current day.
There are two
Time.
options here. She either will have no idea who we are because she's already forgotten, or she will see it and be like, no, they're back. The ones I stole from.
They're back.
Yeah.
They're back.
I thought I got rid of them.
This is the part where we said a lot of like litigious stuff about Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah,
We-
it's allegedly, jokes,
Allegedly,
jokes,
allegedly,
it's all
allegedly,
jokes, it's all
allegedly,
jokes, it's all jokes,
allegedly,
it's real. We don't
allegedly,
actually think any of
allegedly.
these things. Wink, wink.
LOL.
Apparently. Allegedly.
I allegedly think that Melissa Joan Hart or someone from her production company or someone that is close to her allegedly absolutely listened and stole our idea. Deep down in my soul, I believe that. Can I prove it? No. Is it
And-
likely? No, but I believe it.
To have our full idea, they'd have to be Patreon members.
They would.
So,
Interesting. Dillman! Yeah, I'm Jordan, and I don't know. It just feels like she's probably like making the next Zelda or something. She wants to be in my life so bad that she's just trying to worm her way in there.
are you bummed though if you find out it's like hey, there's a $150 million budget movie, and the executive producer is Melissa Joan Hart? It's going to be a Zelda.
Yes,
movie.
I am bummed. I'm
Are you
I'm instantly
devastated?
bummed. Yeah.
Is there any hope that it'll be good?
Mm-mm.
Mario Lopez as Link. Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure.
Ooh, maybe
I
though.
could watch Link sit backwards on a chair for sure. Hey, also, I got nothing but love for Mario Lopez. That'll never change. You can't.
No.
He had nothing to do with it. I love you, Mario. I got no beef with you, man.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I have no beef with you.
Allegedly, Mario was an unwilling participant in the destruction of our IP.
AC Slater could come to my house right now and steal my laptop with any other ideas I have on it, and I'd be like, Slater.
That's fine.
That's what you do, man. Where's Zach? Where's Zach at?
President of the United States.
Where's MPG, man?
Well, Chunky, see us later. We'll talk more about video games, just like how Mario is one video game in a video game.
That was really good, Carter. Thank you.
Great job.
Really good, man.
That was just off the top.
Off the dome? That was
Wow.
That was improv.
Yeah.
You
Completely
don't
off the dome.
say.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Let's make a toast to doing more this spring. Actually, let's make two. Introducing two delicious new toasts from Dunkin'. Hummus and roasted tomato and avocado and roasted tomato. Spring it on with creamy hummus or savory avocado spread on sourdough bread topped with slow roasted, perfectly seasoned vine-ripe tomatoes. Actually, let's make a third toast to the two toasts I was just talking about. Here's to you two, tasty tomato top toasts. America runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.